controller. Installing the service is not enough. We need to promote it to the domain controller. If you see here, promote this server to a domain controller. So we'll click close here, and this is the notification center. Okay, you see this flag, and you see this yellow error here. So which means it is asking us to make some actions here. Okay, so what is that action? It is asking you to promote this server to a domain controller. Okay, so now guys, here once you click this option, let me close it and open it one more time. Once you click this option and you will select this promote this server to a domain controller, you will get this window, and here you will get three options. Add a domain controller to existing domain. So we don't have any existing domain. Add a new domain to existing forest. So we don't have any existing forest. We'll see what is this forest in our advanced classes. So we need to create a new forest here. Okay, let us select this last option, and we need to provide the name. So we have decided to provide the name ms.com. Okay, then we'll click next. And guys, here we need to define the forest function level and domain function level. Okay, and by default it has selected Windows Server 2016. So let us try to understand what is this forest function level and domain function level. So this functional level, this option is useful when you have multiple Windows operating system versions available in your network. Let us say you have domain controller 1, okay, and this domain controller is used to control the logical network. So let us say this domain controller goes down. What will happen if this domain controller goes down? Users won't be able to log on to their computers. So what we will do, we will configure one additional domain controller or backup, you can say. If this domain controller goes down, users can log on to their computers using this domain controller too. Let us say you have installed domain controller 1 and you have installed Windows operating system on this domain controller 1, and domain controller 2 or additional domain controller is having Windows Server 2022. Okay, so if you install this Windows Server 2022 and you want to work with Windows Server 2012, so you need to select the functional level Windows Server 2012. If you select the latest version Windows Server 2022, it will not work with domain controller 1. Okay, so this option is useful when you have multiple Windows operating system versions available in your network. If you already have DC1 installed on Windows Server 2012 and you are installing DC2 on Windows Server 2020, if you select Windows Server 2020 now, it will not work with Windows Server 2012. So to work with Windows 2012, you must select the functional level as Windows 2012, but you will not get the latest features of Windows Server 2022. Okay, but you can later raise the function level to 2022. So let us say you are installing the Windows Server 2022 on this server and you have selected the forest function level 2012. So later if you want, you can raise the forest function level to Windows 2022. But if you have selected 2022 now, you can't reduce if you select the forest function level 2022, you can't reduce to Windows 2012 later. Okay, so this is the use of this function level. So guys, in our network, we don't have any older version. We will go with the latest version, or let us go with Windows 2016, the default value. Okay, Windows Server 2016. And if you see here, it is DNS, it is automatically selected. It will install it automatically, and it is having one more option, global catalog. Okay, and we can't uncheck this option. Okay, so this global catalog feature is compulsory. Okay, when you are creating a new forest, we'll see what is the use of this global catalog feature in our advanced classes. Then guys, we need to provide the DSRM password, directory service restore mode. So what is this password about? Let us say you have installed the domain controller and you have created some usernames and passwords like user1, user2. Just one second. You have created some users like user1, user2, user3, and you have deleted all these users by mistake. Okay, and you want to restore this user, you can't restore. Okay, I'm just taking the example of users, but in Active Directory you will have groups, OUs, computer information. So if you delete the users, you won't be able to get these users back. So what you will do, you will take the backup. Okay, so you will take the backup of this database, user1, user2, user3. If it is deleted, and you will restore this backup. So while restoring the backup, it will ask you this password. Okay, so you should remember this password, and it is very rarely used. MCSC hash dollar, and we'll click next. And it is saying that DNS is not installed, so it will do the installation. And NetBIOS name, you will get MS. Okay, the domain name is ms.com, so NetBIOS name will be MS. Now we'll click next. So guys, if you see here, it is having 3 paths here. Database folder, so it will save the database here, C, Windows, then NTDS. This is the database folder, and log files are saved in this NTDS folder. And sysvol folder, it will have the, what do you say, the policies. Okay, so if you want to change the path, you can change the path. If you want to go with the default setting, you will click next. And if you see here, you will get this review your selection option. So configure this server as the first Active Directory domain controller. So guys, this is the first Active Directory domain controller in our network, and the domain name is ms.com. NetBIOS name is MS. Forest function level is 2016, which means this server will work with Windows Server 2016. Okay, and global catalog, it has already automatically selected, and DNS, you can see it is installing here. And we'll click next now. And it is verifying the prerequisites for domain controller. It is checking whether this server is compatible with the domain controller or not. So if you see here, prerequisite checks passed successfully, click install to begin the installation. So we'll click install. It will install the domain controller. So it is waiting for DNS installation to finish. So if you see, it is waiting for DNS installation to finish. So it is installing the DNS as well. So it has installed the DNS and it will restart the server after the installation of ADDS and DNS. the server is restarted. Let us log on.